Hello and welcome everyone. We're so excited to bring you into our academic journey. I'm Fabian and I feel thrilled to introduce my teammates, Jacqueline and Gabriela. Together, we'll walk you through our dissertation, exploring how artificial intelligence tools combined with task-based learning can improve speaking fluency and backchanneling strategies among secondary school learners.
Hi everyone, this is Jackie. Thanks for joining us. This episode will begin with an introduction to our research, followed by essential aspects such as the literature review, the methodology we applied, our main findings, and a discussion of their implications.
Immediately after, we will draw our conclusions, list the strengths of our study as well as its limitation, anticipate potential future research areas, and of course, reference our bibliography. All right? So now that we have introduced our official research agenda, let's get started. So, the heart of our research lies in tackling a real challenge. Even in bilingual schools, students often struggle to sound fluent and natural in conversation. We notice that learners lack confidence in fluency and they rarely use interactional cues such as, I see.
Exactly. So we ask ourselves, what if we combine task-based learning with AI tools like ChatGPT? Could this blend help students speak more fluently and engage more naturally?
And that became our research objective to verify whether AI enhanced TBL activities can foster fluency and backchanneling in real interactive speaking, while ChatGPT serves as a conversational partner that provides learners with constructive feedback.
Okay then, so let's talk theory. Our work was grounded in Vygotsky's zone of proximal development, which refers to the range of tasks that learners cannot yet do independently but can accomplish with guidance. Traditionally, a teacher or a peer known as a more knowledgeable other helps students progress. But in today's digital world, AI can play that role. ChatGPT can scaffold the student's output by giving immediate adaptive feedback, while generative AI tools like Magic School can scaffold lesson planning by aligning lessons to CFR standards, sequencing tasks effectively, and suggesting differentiation strategies. Jackie?
Yeah, that's the constructivist twist. When learners use AI tools as conversational partners, they produce language received feedback in real time and revise and improve their output based on that feedback. These could produce speaking sub skills, including fluency and backchanneling strategies. Gabby.
So, according to Nation, fluency is the use of a noun language in communication. As we can see in the pictures, there are many circumstances in real life in which can show our skills. Talking to friends, while it seems like games and fun, you actually need a lot of cognitive power in order to do that effectively. Also, if you're giving a conference, you're teaching, you're speaking in front of public. We also have the special cases if you're talking over the phone because you're not face to face. You really cannot analyze body language. So you need different cues in order to respect time and give opportunities to be understood. So it is a measure of how easily the language user can access and use their language knowledge to communicate meaning. In other words, Fluent speakers maintain a continuous flow of language without breaking the rhythm by restarting their sentences or second-guessing themselves mid-speech, right?
Exactly. And likewise, in 2024, Al-Salem also found that the students using AI, like ChatGPT, reduced their hesitation, gained confidence, and felt less anxious, which reinforces the principle that the environment matters. It's non-judgmental.
Also, I want to add, AI allows for personalization. That's the beauty. Teaching and speaking can be hard because it's one teacher against, let's say, 20 students. But if we use AI, chances are we have one phone available for each student. For example, back in 2020, Xu and Li showed that AI tools adapt responses to the student's level, which boosts engagement and long-term improvement. Now, what about the methodology of this study? Jackie, could you walk us through it?
Of course. Once we had worked out our research questions, such as what speaking fluency challenges do students face in secondary school classrooms, or to what extent do TBL phase activities combined with AI tools facilitate interactional speaking strategies, or to what extent will learners improve their fluency and use of backchanneling strategies to implementation of AI-generated feedback? We decide to conduct mixed methods, quasi-experimental research, and we work with two intact groups of 12-year-old bilingual students in Quito. One group was experimental. They used TBL activities supported by Magic School and reviewed feedback from ChatGPT as a conversational partner. The control group followed the regular English curriculum. Fabian.
And before the interventions, both groups took the Cambridge A2T speaking test as a pretest with the purpose to determine what the learners already know and can do. Then the scores were recorded and later analyzed to find out whether the students hesitate a lot or if they use backchanneling strategies to communicate with their peers. In addition, we conducted TBL design intervention lessons to encourage the development of the aforementioned sub-skills. We made observations, used checklists, and record our findings. Finally, we applied new versions of the same A2T test to determine whether new scores show progress and interview the participants to gather qualitative data. Right, Gabby?
Right. So the qualitative data component was so insightful. Let me just show you some commentaries our students shared. Like, it was fun to talk to AI like a normal person. Interestingly enough, one of them mentioned that she feels good, she improved her confidence, she got her even a name, her name being Kylie. So we can actually observe the potential of parasocial relationships, both for good and evil. We need to take that into account. But just in general, they felt more secure than talking with a person because they get shy with a real flesh people, right? So we recorded students' reflection in our dissertation and tracked how often they use back-channeling phrases and how their confidence grew over time.
That's all very interesting. But now let's get into the numbers. Jacqueline?
Yes, of course. The experimental group had a mean score increase of 2.2 points, going from an average of 13.05 to a perfect 15.0. All students scored the same in the post-test, showing amazing consistency. In contrast, the control group's gain was only 0.5, points with greater variation, suggesting that the experimental group outperforms the control group, significantly in the post-test.
So,
Gabi.
yeah, thank you. We also ran a t-test. The probability value was 0.002. So, Fabian, want to break that down, please?
Certainly. The p-value means the difference was statistically significant. Given the low p-value of 2000, the t-critical value, the t-difference is unlikely to be due to chance. In simpler terms, the improvement was not a matter of luck, but it confirms our hypothesis. The AI TBL intervention really worked.
So we can conclude that a two-sample t-test comparing the post-test scores of the experimental group and control group reveal a statistically significant difference, indicating that the intervention had a positive impact on learner performance. Insightful, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
So this tells us that AI tools like ChatGPT can simulate authentic dialogue and provide real-time correction, and indicates that TBL lessons supported by AI, of course, like ChatGPT, since that was our study, significantly enhance learners' speaking performance compared to traditional methods.
Exactly, Gabi. It also evens out differences among learners. While the control group had varied outcomes, the experimental group shows consistent success. The t-test results confirm that the experimental approach had a positive and measurable effect. Fabian.
Therefore, TBL lessons designed with AI support and specifically the use of ChatGPT as a conversational partner can be considered an effective pedagogical innovation for improving learners' speaking skills, particularly in settings where human interaction is limited or learners require individualized practice. Wonderful, huh?
Yeah, of course. We can conclude that absolutely we can confidently say that combining TBL with AI tools improves fluency and backchanneling in young learners. The students felt more confident, their speech became more cohesive, and they were excited to practice.
Exactly. Not only did this approach build skills, but also reduce anxiety. Students felt free to try, fail, and try again with no fear of being judged.
In addition, the interactive, responsive, and context sensitive nature of ChatGPT mimics the role of the more knowledgeable other, MKO, providing scaffolding aligned with Vygotsky's sociocultural theory.
Not to mention that the task-based structure ensures that language is used purposefully and communicatively, while ChatGPT helps maintain engagement and provides immediate language input and output practice. That said, let's also be critical too and discuss the strengths and limitations. One strength was the triangulation of data, you know, tests, observations, and interviews, because it enhanced aspects of our research, such as its validity, credibility, and depth. But we did face limitations. For example, our sample was small, which limits generalizability and increases the risk of error.
Another strength is our experimental design. The study includes both experimental and control groups, enabling a comparison of outcomes and enhancing internal validity. However, there is no longitudinal data, as the study only assesses short term gains. there is no information on retention or long-term impact of AI-supported TBL.
Yeah, the real-world application of the study is also noticeable. The integration of AI into classroom practice reflects current trends in education technology, making findings relevant and timely. Yet, not all students had equal digital literacy or access to AI tools, which could affect performance.
We should mention, though, that our design is theoretically informed. In other words, it is founded in well-known educational concepts such as ZPD, TBL design, scaffolding, and constructivist principles, which supports the pedagogical rationale and interpretation of findings. So, Jackie, where do we go from here?
Okay, longitudinal studies could be great, to investigate the long-term effects using ChatGPT or similar AI tools over an extended period to see if speaking improvements are retained or continue developed. So,
Um,
Gabby,
Yes, I was just about to ask you because some people may be wondering, what about under-resourced schools? We should test this model where tech access is more limited to find scalable solutions. I do want to mention, for example, the creator of Duolingo, Luis Bonang. He created precisely the app to learn languages because he believed education was greatly separated due to economic chances. So rich kids will have better education, better life opportunities, and a better future, while poor kids, because they couldn't invest as much money in their education, they were stuck, or it was very difficult to have social mobility. So our experiment could greatly benefit more in under-resourced schools. We could also compare the impact of AI tools versus human interlocutors, such as teachers or peers, learner speaking development, and interaction strategies.
Mhm. And also exploring teacher training models for AI integration is crucial. The tools are only as effective as the way we use them, right? And we could also examine how teachers' roles shift when integrating AI into the TBL classroom and how teacher training can adapt to support this change. Another area of research is the study of gamified AI environments. It would be interesting to know if gamified AI platforms encourage students to spend more time on language activities rather than those in traditional settings, or if learners exposed to gamified input recall vocabulary with greater accuracy than learners exposed to static input. All in all, this research sounds promising. Well, that's it. Let's move on to our bibliography. Jackie, could you take it from here?
Of course. Our work is grounded in a range of literature. From Ellis in 2003, focus on TBL, to Alsalen in 2024, who explore language education in AI. All references are available in our full dissertation, which you can download using this QR that you can see, this QR code. So that wraps out our academic journey. Thank you all for watching this, and a special thanks to our tutor, Professor Alexis Contreras, for her unwavering support along the way. Thank you so much.
And don't forget all our teachers during this master's program at Universidad Espíritu Santo. Their teachings were crucial at every step during this journey.
And we hope this conversation inspires you to think about the future of teaching. And remember, it's not just about tools, it's about purpose-driven learning. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.